Good, because some people asked us to, is it recorded now? Yes. To send it to them afterwards. So here we go. Will you do the admitting?
Yeah, sure. I'll keep an eye on it.
Well, hello. So good to see you all. Thanks, Michael, Michael was already in the hospital at the hospice this morning. He's on call, so he's going there, coming back, going back. So I'm glad you're here with us anyhow. That's true dedication. So yes.
I'll take care of
it. Happy Sunday. I have a thing not wanting to exclude anybody. So if I see people in the waiting room, it's very hard for me to
just leave it to me.
To leave it to Michael. But I'm so glad we are all here together. As a preview for this day, Michael will talk today about the work that Reconnects by Joanna Macy, which really started out, well, he will talk about it. So I will, as a taking care of people who work in the world. And so, but I let him talk about this. But at first, I wanted to give just a little introduction, because I have to say I felt quite upset this weekend, and I woke up with a little bit of that. Just, I don't know if those in Europe have been following what's going on here in America. It seems we are kind of crumbling a little bit as a society, and it just has been kind of heavy on my heart. You know, I think our world has been in a tough time, but also we here. And so in my, not despair, but in my upset, I was writing a little bit actually for our next newsletter. And so I guess I thought I'll just read that, because that's really what came up for me last night and this morning and yesterday. Actually, my daughter Bella, who's 25, and we went yesterday to a demonstration in Ala Vista at the University of Santa Barbara. And it was a demonstration of Black students, and just hearing the experiences was just very touching. So here maybe I will say, in the wake of injustice, violence, chaos, and a pandemic raging through our country, our world, many of us are torn between fear and hope. Fear that we will experience more violence, death, and destruction, and hope for new emergence, that people will finally turn a new leaf towards more humanity, respect, racial and economic equality, caring, and peace of heart. We are at a crossroads as a society, as a community, maybe as a humanity. Will we go the path of self-protection, often in association with competition, self-preoccupation, and greed? Or will we enter a path of collaboration, compassion, and mutual support? These are incredibly difficult times, which bring out the worst and the best in us. Fear and uncertainty can cause us to habitually turn inward towards what is known and familiar, leaving us contracted and paralyzed. Or our fear and anger can turn outward, turn to divergence and hate. Now we need to seize the moment to move forward as people to create the kind of world we want to live in. We need to open ourselves and think differently. Einstein told us we can't solve problems with the same kind of thinking we used when we created them. But how can we go forward? Everything is uncertain. COVID-19, our economy, and if if the social and political fabric will tear and crumble or mend and renew. I'm reminded of my hero Sisyphus, the Greek hero who rolls his stone up the hill no matter what, not ever knowing the result of his efforts and if his engagement will be worthwhile, and he keeps rolling the stone. Thomas Merton assures us in such a detrimental situation, you do not need to know precisely what is happening or exactly where it's all going. What you need is to recognize the possibilities and challenges offered by the present moment and to embrace them with courage, faith, and hope. What can we do now in this time? How can we align ourselves with engagement and courage and keep our hope in quote big trust that life will unfold in life-giving ways? I personally need my quiet sit in the morning so I can remember that I'm part of a bigger perspective, that underneath it all is peace. Good friends to talk things over with are helpful as well. Then there is caring for others, service. As we find some way to relieve suffering for others, we heal ourselves. The wounded healer is healed by her being present to and doing what she can to care for others. Healing gives us confidence in our own value, strength, and capacity that we have something to offer. Doing so affirms our own trust in life. Service affirms that we are not alone and that we belong to each other, that we are part of an interdependent, co-arising, constantly creating web of life. Last night, we listened to His Holiness the Dalai Lama. He told us that caring for others, living in a we, not in a me first, gives us access to life energy itself. I remember my Tibetan friends in Dharamsala who had suffered so much hardship, torture, and poverty, yet their spirit was unbroken, alive, and loving. Let's follow their footsteps. Make yourself comfortable. Let yourself settle into the sensations in your body. Notice the touch between your body and the chair, the ground. Allow your whole body to be filled with presence. And feel the totality of your body. The felt sense of your body as a whole. Be aware of every pixel, every point in your body. Be aware what it feels like. And within the totality of the senses of your body, notice your forehead opening up, your eyes softening, your shoulders relaxing, your heart opening, breath brushing through. Belly softening. And again, feel the totality of senses in your body, your posture. Be at home in the felt sense of your whole body. And for a moment, intensify your focus, your attention to the feelings of your body. Look a little closer. Feeling the whole totality of the felt sense of your body. And from this field of the body, notice the in-breath, the out-breath, whole posture. And from this posture as a whole, sensation and movement of breath arising with the in-breath. Sensation and movement of the out-breath. Posture as a whole. feeling every instant of the in-breath. Every instant of the out-breath. The totality of your body. Being aware of every instant of the cycle of breath. And look a little closer. So you can be aware of each moment in the cycle of breath equally. Rising and falling, in breath and out breath, body. Fully aware. And as you feel every instant of body, ease up a bit. Feel the brightness that comes with easing up. And if your mind begins to wander, look a little bit more closely. Feeling every pixel of the cycle of breath. When the mind wanders, if there are thoughts or feelings, just let them pass through. And like a steering wheel, bring attention back to body and breath. A rising, falling body, arising again. And for a moment, you might turn your attention inwards. See inside of your body. With full awareness. Search if there's a solid sense of self. Search in your belly, your heart. Is there a solid sense of self in your jaw or head? Intensify your awareness, looking closely. Doing an honest search. Feel that awareness that is searching and looking. Then stay with awareness itself. Rest in that awareing. For a moment, notice this luminous, limitless nature of awareness itself. And rest in it. And from this place of awareness, notice breath arising with the inhale, letting go with the exhale. Body, breath again. And let yourself experience body and breath from this very expanded perspective of awareness. Breath arising with the in-breath, falling with the out-breath. Body, breath again, arising in awareness. Allowing your body to be breathed. within this luminous body. Notice at your center, where your chest, your heart is a sun. Imagine a sun like a bright star at the center of your chest. And then in your mind's eye, bring up an image or feeling you have about our world today. Maybe there's some sorrow or some fear. And inhale that feeling like a cloud. And immediately allow it to hit the sun of the center of your chest. Transform that cloud into brightness. And exhale warmth and well-wishing. Inhale that darkness, that cloud. Allow it to immediately, instantly hit the sun at the center of your chest. And exhale as warm, as caring. One more time. Inhale the dark cloud of worry, of fear and frustration. Allow it to hit the bright sun at the center of your chest. And exhale, caring, warmth, love. Notice breath brushing through very gently. With each breath, fanning the sun, the star, the center of your chest where your heart is. Making it more bright, more alive, more vibrant. The sun of caring. Then notice the worry or the fear or the unease you might be feeling. And inhale that feeling you might have as a cloud. Let it immediately transform at the center of your chest. Transform into brightness, into warmth, into caring. And exhale. Warmth and love. Again. Inhale that worry that you carry, that concern, that frustration, whatever it is. Let it hit the sun at the center of your chest. Transform instantly and exhale warmth and caring. Just stay with the cycle of your breath. Inhale, transforming. Exhale, giving. Inhale, receiving what's difficult. Transforming, giving. breathe like that. Just know that you can take this experience to yourself out into the world, into your life. May the benefits of this meditation go out into the world and beyond.
Thank you. So, do this. I forgot to. Let me just see. Hi, everybody. I'm just going to try and open something here that I forgot to do a little earlier. I don't think. Oh, there we are. Let's see. Just bear with me for 1 sec. There we go.
Just keep breathing.
So, thank you, Radhule. That was beautiful. Your newsletter and your meditation. So I wanted to share with you a little bit about a process for self-care, because one of the themes of our Sunday morning, Sunday evening, depending what part of the world you are, sessions is self-care in these challenging times. And so I wanted to maybe introduce those of you that haven't heard of it before, and for those of you that know about it, just revisit the work that reconnects. The work that reconnects is a particular approach to self-care and resilience that I think can be really helpful in the times we're in. And this is Joanna Macy, and Joanna Macy is the she came up with the work that reconnects over 40 years ago, when she started working as an anti-nuclear activist. And initially her work was called Despair and Empowerment Work. And it's evolved since then to be renamed Deep Ecology Work, and more recently, the work that reconnects.
Maybe we come back to despair and empowerment work in these times.
Well, actually, part of the reason she used to go first to despair and find that by opening to our despair and allowing ourselves to feel what we're feeling, even if it's really, really hard, that it actually was empowering because it connects us to others. But then she realized the importance of gratitude. And that's why she brought in what we're going to focus on this morning. Joanna, who's now 92 years old, or 91 years old.
91 years old.
Is an environmental activist, an author of a number of books.
Social activist too.
Very much a social activist too. Scholar of Buddhism and general systems theory and deep ecology. And she's got a book about the work that reconnects called Coming Back to Life, which if any of you are interested, I'd highly recommend, just giving a lot more detail than I'll be touching into. So this is like an old poster when she started talking about this work back in the 70s, I guess. A workshop series that explores how to evoke creative, compassionate, and transformational responses to the ecological crises of our time. So it's really a process, and this image on the left of the dandelion um, uh, is it captures the 4 different steps of the work that reconnects, that one engages in an interactive and experiential way. Her work has been very much aimed at activists who may be burnt out and really struggling in their work as activists, but it's also very relevant to caregivers, and it's also very relevant to any of us who are living in this world we're living in, which Radley
who read the newspaper,
who, yeah, as you described. You know, I was listening, I just looking at the headlines in the New York Times, you know, fury in the streets as protests spread across the US. This is a country in pain. Over 100,000 deaths from COVID, the economic pain of over 20% unemployment, and then just the erupting outrage at the moment about around George Floyd's death in particular, but also just the kind of the huge underground iceberg of kind of racial injustice. And you know, those of us that are living in the United States and in touch with the realities around us, but also just in our world, we're all living in the pandemic, we're all living with a lot of similar challenges and uncertainties. This is a process that can be really helpful, because at the core of the work that reconnects is the realization of our radical interconnectedness, how we're radically interconnected with each other and with our world. And when we realize that, when we actually not just think about it and get an idea about it, but actually understand it and experience it, it can be really transformative. So really a process for building resilience. And as you can see here, there are 4 steps. The 4 steps, the first one is gratitude. The second one is honoring our pain. The third step is seeing with new eyes. And then the 4th step is going forth, going back into the world. And what we propose to do is to touch into one of these each week and say a little bit about them and do a very simple little exercise associated with that particular step. And then next week come to the next one, and so on. So over the next 4 weeks, that's what we hope to do and to share with you. So this morning, we're really beginning with the first step, and gratitude. And why do we begin with gratitude? And you know, when we kind of were talking earlier this morning, Radhule said, well, how can we really talk about gratitude on a day like this with, you know, with protests and cities burning around the States and in the middle of a pandemic, you know? And so I want to say a few words about why we do begin with gratitude and why a lot of the great spiritual traditions begin with gratitude, even in the darkest of times. And so the first point is, we're not talking about anything Pollyannish. We're not talking about denial. We're not talking about a should. We're not saying we should be grateful. You know, when things are going difficult and when things are hard, you know, it's not a should. It's not a should. What gratitude means at a time like this, and in dark times in our lives, in difficult times in our lives, means that we take time to notice and to feel, and then possibly express what we are feeling good about, what we are feeling grateful for. So even in the darkest of times, if you think of a moment as a tapestry, and even if this is a very, very dark tapestry, there may still be flecks of gold. There still may be little threads of gold that run through it. And so gratitude is about bringing our attention to that thread of gold, even in an otherwise very, very dark tapestry. And that's a choice. That's a choice we can make. We can choose what we pay attention to. And even in uncertainty and change, we can choose to attend to what we actually feel good about, what we actually feel grateful for. And in that way, as Joanna Macy points out, gratitude is really a revolutionary act, because for one thing, as she says, it helps us to step off the consumerist treadmill that kind of materialist capitalism is based on, is constantly targeting our sense of lack, our sense of insufficiency, our sense of neediness, and saying, we've got a product for you. We've got something new which can fill that gap. It allows us to step off that by not focusing on our lack, but by paying attention to what we already have. It also counteracts pessimism by helping us to see that even if the glass is half empty, it's actually also half full. Or even if it's 3/4 empty, it's still a quarter full, and paying attention to that quarter fullness. And what's underlying gratitude, and why it begins this cycle of the work that reconnects, and the next step, which we'll go into next week, is about really facing our pain and being with our pain and honoring our pain. And the reason Joanna brought in gratitude as the first step in the work that reconnects is that gratitude, the felt sense of gratitude, brings us to the heart. It's a heart sense. And coming into our heart and being grounded in our heart enables us to face what's painful and difficult. So I just want you, this is the little exercise that comes with this today, and this is something for each of you to do internally in your own way. And we'll just take literally half a minute for this here now. It's lovely to do this in a group where you ask an open question like this, and then you share in pairs and so on. But obviously we don't have time to do that right now. But just allow this question: something about being alive in the world at this time that I feel deeply grateful for is. Something about being alive in the world at this time that I feel deeply grateful for is. And then you just see what comes in response to that. And just take a few moments just to notice whatever comes in response to that. Something about being alive in the world at this time that I feel deeply grateful for is. It's going to lead you in a short meditation gratitude practice. Closing your eyes, allow your awareness to drop down into your body, all the way down to the ground, and all the way down to the sensations of contact between your feet and the ground, your seat and the chair. And for just a few moments, allow your awareness to rest in these sensations of firmness and solidity. When you're ready, allow your awareness to rise up and fill the whole space of your body, from the soles of your feet to the crown of your head, mindfully aware. And as you're mindfully aware within your body, I invite you to bring your awareness to the sensations of breath, wherever you're most aware of these in your body. Sensations of the rising breath, sensations of the falling breath, sensations of the whole felt sense of your body. And for just a little while, allow your awareness to alight on the sensations of breath like a feather on a wave. Sensations of the rising breath, sensations of the falling breath, felt sense of the body. And as your body continues to breathe, I invite you in your mind's eye to imagine that you're standing in the early morning, looking towards the eastern horizon, knowing that shortly the sun will appear. And as you turn in this direction, I invite you to turn to whatever gives your life its deepest sense of meaning, its deepest sense of hope, its deepest sense of peace. And as you turn towards what gives your life its greatest sense of meaning and hope and peace of heart, just notice how this feels in your body. And for just a few moments, allow yourself to feel what you're feeling. Just a few moments, allow your awareness to rest in how your body feels. This sense of meaning, this sense of hope, peace of heart. Just a few moments. Allow yourself to rest in how this feels in your body. When you have a sense of this, I invite you to gradually turn in your mind's eye towards the south where the sun rises through the day to its zenith, giving light and warmth to all beings. And as you turn in this direction, I invite you to turn to the natural world, to the world of other than human nature. And as you turn in this direction, as you turn towards the natural world, I invite you to recall an encounter you've had recently in the natural world. It may have been with a four-legged, may have been with an insect, may have been with a tree, may have been with the sunshine on your face, may have been with the rain on your skin, may have been with the feeling of the earth under your feet. Remember whatever you remember. Just for a moment, imagine yourself back in that encounter, in that exchange, in the presence of that being, that process. And as you do, bring your awareness now back into your body, back into your heart. And notice how your heart feels right now. For just a few moments, allow yourself to rest in these feelings, this felt sense in your heart, in the presence of this being. When you have a sense of this, bowing and taking your leave, I invite you to turn towards the west where the sun crosses over the horizon at the end of the day. And as you turn in this direction, I invite you to turn towards others in your life, the other humans in your life, family, friends, acquaintances, strangers, your human family. And as you turn towards your human family, I invite you to picture before you a person you feel deeply grateful for, someone in whose presence you feel joy, you feel happy, you feel at peace, you feel recognized. And imagine yourself in the presence of this person. Picture as vividly as you can this person standing before you. And now, gently bring your awareness inwards and notice how your heart feels in the presence of this person. And for just a few moments, allow yourself to feel what you're feeling. Allow yourself to rest in this felt sense of gratitude. When you're ready, once more take your leave, bow, and turn towards the north. the north where the sun does not travel, but the north where every night, if you look up, you'll find in the same spot the North Star. Every other star in the northern sky moves through the night, but the North Star, Polaris, is always there in the same spot, helping us to know where we are, helping us to find our way. And as you turn in this direction, I invite you to turn towards your own life. And once more, to open to the question I asked a little while ago. Something about being alive in the world at this time that I feel deeply grateful for is. And see what arises in your heart in response to that. See what comes to mind in response to that. And once more, for just a few moments, allow yourself to rest. Allow yourself to be carried, to be held in the felt sense of gratitude in your heart. And may all beings be happy. May all beings be safe. May all beings everywhere be free. And may I become all that I need to become to best enable this to happen for all our relations.
Hello. Thanks for bearing with us. And we were wondering, we brought up a lot of ideas, and also, it's a special time in our country, in our world. And we're wondering if any of you like to comment. I think there is no unmuting yourself, no? You turned that off or not?
Turn it off.
Let's see. Can we unmute? Or you can type into the chat box. But it would be lovely to hear from some of you what you're thinking. It's unmuted. All right. I think was just wondering if any of you like to let's see. There are some.
Who is that? Oh, Callie. Okay, let's see, Callie. There you go. Let me unmute you. Okay, Callie.
Hi, everyone. What I've noticed since the crisis is that everywhere I go, people, everyone casually says, how are you? But now it seems like everybody sincerely, wants to know, how are you doing? How's your family doing? And it's not just a greeting anymore. It's a real concern and connection with, how are you really doing during this time of crisis? And I think that's something I'm grateful for, is all these people that everywhere I see, they really want to know, how are we doing? So I do feel this extra concern and connection as far as, health goes and emotion goes, and, how are you doing during this time of crisis? And so that's something that I could really feel grateful for.
Thank you, Kelly. Thank you. And Ellie, let's unmute you, Ellie. There you go.
Thank you. Yes, thank you for the beautiful meditation and talk this morning. I think that the maintaining of social distance is really causing us to look at our abilities to be connected in other ways, mentally, telepathically. I mean, you send a hug across a space to another person, which is pretty good practice, I think. And I think after 6 feet, the space may grow bigger for some of us. And I'm thankful for, in some ways, for that experience, although I have some trouble with the feeling of loneliness a little bit.
Yeah, some more people.
Thank you very much.
Are at a greater distance than 6 feet.
That's lovely. Thank you. Thank you, Ellie. Let's, Carol Nielsen. Yeah, thank you, Carol. Let me unmute you.
Yeah.
There you go.
Well, good. Thank you. Thank you very much, Radhule, and for the wonderful, wonderful meditations. But what I really was helpful for me was the dark tapestry and the, finding those golden threads in that tapestry, because it's been a hard week. It's a very dark week. And, just looking for the gold threads and realizing that gratitude really is the first step in healing. And for me, having a healthy life. And during the second meditation, Michael, in the process, it was the first thing that I was really grateful for, was trees and nature and the birds and the bees and the things in my garden, working in the garden. And then as we turned and we faced north, and the last thing, it was really beautiful because there were humans in there. And that's something that I've been, maybe always, but had a little bit, relating and feeling grateful for our humanness and other people. So I just wanted to thank you so much for that.
Thank you, Carol. It's beautiful. I
Mm-hmm.
think Ellie has spoken.
Ellie, you already spoke, right?
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay.
But would you like to address Alexandra's?
I can't see. I don't have my glasses.
The message, Alexandra writes, the message of interconnectedness is of supreme importance. The loss of George Floyd touches us all. Thank you for giving us a vehicle for us to transform tragedy into hope. Thank you, Alexandra. Thank you for that. So anybody else?
Is there one more?
And thank you, somebody. That is from Angelica, expressing gratitude for the meditations. Thank you, Angelica. Anybody else? Yeah, Christine. That's, somehow the unmute doesn't work so good. Did that work? Let's go down here, Christine, where we are.
Christine, we have a hard time unmuting you. Would you type in your question? And then there is, maybe, Christine, would you, for some reason, it doesn't allow us to unmute, but we could try.
If you were able to type in, a note. And meanwhile, maybe Alexandra?
No, we have her already.
No, I want to add. Can I add?
Yes, please do, Alexandra.
Oh, okay. Am I unmuted?
You're unmuted.
Oh, all right. Sorry. I wasn't sure. I just want to say how beautiful, Radhule, with the star, the image of the star. When during that meditation, I started imagining the 2 wings of compassion.
Mm.
compassion and mindfulness with the star spreading across.
Thank
Yeah, and then just the interconnectedness of not forgetting that all of the pain of the world ripples through us, because I was hiking, and Michael, your meditations in nature have been so helpful right now. I stood by the water rushing out in Montecito on the San Isidro Trail, and just how it picks up all of the light in it. And the light is all separate, but it's all unified by the water. And thinking of us like that. And I came out of the 2 meditations with such gratitude of hope. And so I wanted to tell you that, because I have been at the protest too for the prisons where people are just dying and they can't get out. So I have such gratitude for both of you.
Thank you.
And that's what I wanted to add. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Alexandra.
And there is Jackie from New York. Jackie, are you unmuted? For some reason, our unmuting. Oh, there you are.
Can hear me?
Yes, we can, Jackie.
Yes, hi. It's been really hard in Brooklyn the last few days, and needing to leave the protests due to just my safety, and wanting to spread happiness, I guess, wanting to see peace, and wanting to communicate that with my neighbors and friends of mine who are police officers in Brooklyn, facing just a lot of danger. But your meditations reminded me that it's not my job to force happiness, not to fix, not to reach out and remind my neighbors who are, I'm probably the only white person in my building, and I don't feel unsafe, but to just focus on me and my gratitudes and the love of my family, and no matter what, people will, hopefully from this anger, be healed somehow. And I hope they all have people like us, this community here. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jackie. Thank you. Anybody else like to?
Is there one?
Angelica writes, yes, the work of interconnection is really an important one. I have the wonderful picture you showed us on my display just to remember whenever I look on my handy or before I speak to someone. Good. Thank you. Thanks, Angel. Okay, I think that's everybody. Thank you all very much. Thank you for coming and for being with us and being together, and look forward very much to seeing you all next week.
Thanks so much for being here.
Okay, take care, everybody.
Thanks. And Bernard. Hi, Anne.
Oh, hi.
So nice to see the Carney family.
Hi, everybody. Listen, let me just see if I can unmute everybody. It's lovely to see you, but it'd be nice to hear you today. Let me do this. Still trying to figure out. Here we are.
Are you all unmuted? Richard is not unmuted. Who's?
I don't know how we do this. It's like all participants are unmuted, but then it doesn't look like they are. Can you try unmuting at your end, Rich? Sally, are you unmuted? Can you?
She's muted.
No, she's unmuted.
Sally, are you unmuted?
No. We can see you, but we can't hear you. So
Maybe it's that thing you pressed in the beginning. Yeah. One thing we could do is we could go out and go in again and just not mute.
yeah, will we do that? Okay, let's stop this and just reconnect to the link.
Hello?
Who's that?
Okay. Hello,
Hi.
can you hear me?
Yeah, now we hear
yeah,
you.
everybody's good.
Okay.
Good. Nice to see you.
Hi.
Hi, Anne.
Nice to see you. See Sally and Malcolm.
Who's Kat?
How are you?
Hi, see Sally and Malcolm.
There's something kind of weird with the sound, guys. Why don't we stop this meeting and just real quickly come in again, okay? I'm going to end this meeting and then just come in through the link again, and let's see if that works. Okay, it's still
No,
Okay.
you know what? I left the meeting because we were two on the same and beside one another. So
Is that better now?
is it better?